a lot. But you guys don't have anything to worry about because you're going to get it right on Saturday, eh? So cool. So we'll go through that now. The biggest thing to take on board is that while they are the law, it's a law change. Nothing's really changed too much in terms of what we should be doing anyway, and that's having a game that's played on our feet. And so the idea is that the change with the breakdown is to get guys contesting like this as opposed to like this, so off the feet and out of the game. So now we have, under old law we had a ruck, which was 2 players bound, so in contact over a ball on the ground. Okay, but those players were obviously up on their feet. Now the breakdown is a player who's tackled on the ground with the ball, and an arriving teammate is there over that ball. That's a breakdown. Now I might get a couple of guys just to show us this picture. So you jump on the ground there with the ball. So Newton's on the same team. As soon as he gets to this ball, to this area, the breakdown's formed. So you don't need a defending player anymore to form a breakdown. It's already formed with your first arriving player there. So yeah, and so I've changed the naming of the ruck to breakdown. Yeah, so that's a new name for it. So if I come in, still a breakdown, but whether I'm here or not, it's a breakdown. Okay, so that's the biggest thing to.
So does he physically need to be above the ball, or can he be at Spency's head?
Yeah, so as soon as he comes into this area,
okay,
breakdown's formed. Cool. Generally, yeah, and generally you'll come in over that ball. So if we're going this way, in this direction, and Spence on the ground there, we have the offside line is, once the breakdown's formed, is this midpoint here. Okay. So the guys coming from their right, the attacking side, you must come. First player must come ask to your own goal line. So that's obviously straight in. Okay. So the first player can't come in from the side. He has to come in straight through that area and over that ball. And then the supporting players, they can come in from that side as long as they start from behind the midpoint. Does that make sense?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so that's your gate. So the gate for the first player is straight in. Second players can come in from the side as long as they're behind that midpoint, and you can join from the side. Okay. So next thing, when you, under old law, you'd have seen a lot the guy coming in, the defender, coming in, first player in, getting his hands to the ball, and we call that a jackal. Yep, cool. And so as soon as you join, I'm still allowed to hold that ball. Yeah, under old law. Under old law. Okay, I'm still allowed to contest that ball. Now, so if you take a couple of steps back, so breakdown hasn't formed. I've tackled Spencer on my feet, so I can play that ball. I'm going for the jackal. As soon as Newton arrives, if I haven't won that ball, I must release it. Okay, I can't hold on to that ball anymore.
So if it's off the ground, does that count as you've won it?
We'll go there in just a moment. Yeah. So what you'll find is that most teams aren't going for the jackal because the supporting attackers are so quick there. Even if it's 2 seconds, it's generally enough time to get there and stop the jackal from taking the ball. If you do get a situation where you have this player isolated, you get your hands on the ball and you have clearly won it, that's fine. And even if this player arrives after you've won it, you can still hold on to that ball, it's open to play. Okay? And to win it, you have to have the ball at waist height, and that's not here. It's at a position where you can play the ball. So about 300 off the ground, you can play it either way, that's fine, that's one. Okay? But it's just highly unlikely that that will happen unless you get the player isolated after a line break or something like that. So you've always got to be looking at where the next arriving players from the attacking side are, the ball carrying side, and determining whether you actually have a realistic chance of winning that. In the Taranaki, they said that the referee who spoke to us about it said that he's only seen a successful jackal once in 7 games that he's reffed with this new ruling. So the alternative for you there, so Spencer's on the ground, I'm in. What they want you to do is to get over that ball and take up the space. So I might come a metre past the ball and hold there and have players join me and help defend that space and win that ball. So again, you're on your feet over that ball, driving past, and that's the aim of aiming for breakdown now. So instead of going for this jackal and getting into a negative position, we're instead of playing down, we're getting over that ball and then taking a metre or a metre and a half past that ball and holding that space, okay? Because those players must still come through you, as long as you're in there.
Can he get up and run?
He can get up. He has to release the ball. If a breakdown is formed, he obviously can't take the ball with him.
If he lets go, gets up. And
Yeah.
Say you blow past, you can just.
So if you blow past, the breakdown's formed and you blow past, and he gets up, yep, as long as he's the halfback playing that ball at the back, then that's fine.
If
So
you
he's
go
not part
past
of-
on the
he's
other
not part of
team,
the breakdown.
If you're a defender,
Yeah.
you go over.
Yeah.
Can you get up?
that means I'm just offside, eh?
Yeah,
You go
correct.
first then.
Because once the defenders come past, they've won that ball, so that's your offside line.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless they
So where's the midpoint now?
the midpoint now. Once I'm past the ball, yeah. So once that breakdown's formed, it's the last feet. Okay. So in a tackle situation, if we have another player down here tackling Spencer, yep.
Get you away from my ass, mate.
Okay, so we're heading this way. Cool. That midpoint runs right through the middle there. Okay, right through the middle there.
Where's our goal line?
Yeah, so we're going this way. Yep. Once the breakdown forms, so I'm here, the offside line is my last foot, and of course, just in front of his shoulder there. If we get another player contesting with me, so you come in, and you've got that contact, then the offside line for the defending team's the last foot, while that ball's still in the back.
Are you allowed to kick the ball?
Absolutely. So as long as you come from, as long as you come from this side of the midline, so you come from your side, you're entitled to swing a leg and kick it. And it was quite funny because I actually, I ref Cobb Freiburg on the weekend, and that tactic was used a lot more than I expected it to be. So players weren't actually going for the ruck, they were actually just kicking it and making a nuisance, which does disrupt your play quite a lot. So yeah, as long as you come from behind that midline, you can play at that ball with your foot. No issues there. Okay. Next. Any questions?
So as he's come through, is there having team players on defence can just come in from
Yeah, correct.
They don't
Yeah.
need to enter through the gate.
No.
They can just come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what if the defending team, so the attacking team,
Yeah.
their players come into the ruck on their angle and then go off their feet?
Yeah, cool. So we'll get into that now. So with you'll spend a lot of time there. With all arriving players must stay on their feet for the duration of the breakdown. So it's really crucial that when you come into the breakdown now, that you come in at a slower speed than what you may have in the past. So guys who come flying in at 100 miles an hour are never going to stay on their feet, okay? They're always going to find their way to the ground. Even if they go for a clean out at 100 miles an hour, they're going to end up off their feet. So while you want to head in as fast as you can, you just need to slow down, take your time once you get there, because once you get over that ball, and you can get a strong stance, okay? But you can't get a strong stance over that ball if you go straight past it. So you need to be aware of where the ball is and aware of your positioning as well, and how you're going to be stable.
So that's the same as can clean out their player?
Yeah, correct. So if you clean out their player, you can't just clean them out straight off your feet past that ball. We're quite lenient in terms of if there is a contest, it's pretty wriggly and it ends up over the side, both players off their feet, we're just going to let that go because the breakdown is
So
still
barrel rolling is all
available.
good.
Sorry?
So barrel rolling is all good.
Yeah, you can still take players off, like if they're sealing over the ball, like have a strong stance over the ball, they're quite low, and you can still clean them out, just make sure it's not above the neck line, or a neck roll, as we've had problems with in the past.
So if they on that stance, so
Yeah.
if their head's up, that's a positive.
Yeah, positive play, correct.
But so if our head's down, that's penalty, is it?
As long as you come in head and shoulders above your hips, you're in a positive position. Okay. So if I come in, I'm allowed to get over this player and I'm allowed to grip onto him. Okay. As long as I'm not leaning, hands flat palms or elbows on. Okay. I can have it. It has to be a grip, it's a closed fist, and you have to be supporting your weight, so I can still get up and play from there, as opposed to being like this and having to push my way off the player. Yep, you can grip, but you need to sink your ass as low as you possibly can. Looking down is going to put you in a vulnerable position. Okay, you want to be sort of chin up so you can see what's happening, so that if they do come into contest, you can then get up if you need to and contest, and then take that space and win that wrestle.
Are you allowed to hold on to that player? Like if you get clean, hold on to him?
Generally,
Smash back.
I would say no, because you need to be able to contest, and pulling that player over, it's going to create a negative play. Yeah, so you just need to let go and then contest. But if there's no defence there and you're just sealing, as in holding, then that's fine. And if they come in for the contest, sweet, I'm going to contest and battle past, take that space. Cool.
So another question.
Yep. No worries.
So in terms of Saturday's game that you had, like what was the contest? The majority of the contest?
Majority was no contest.
No contest.
Speaking to the captains after the game, they said that they weren't sore, which is completely unusual for them. They said that guys were just generally fanning out as opposed to committing to a contest, because the thing is that if you leave a team in possession for 8 phases or so, or 8+ phases, they say they start to get tired, they start to run out of ideas. They're constantly trying to secure their ball, keep it in their side, and they get so tired doing so that they end up making a mistake, or like going off their feet and causing an infringement. So they say that the best defence is often just waiting it out, wait out those 8-9 phases, whatever it might be, and then letting them make the mistake, or then finally getting over that ball and just driving past. So it's up to you guys what tactics you want to employ, but that's just the general trend that occurred on Saturday. It happens so much more quickly. The breakdowns form straight away, and the contest is generally over pretty quickly. So the guys have just chosen to stay out and just let the play keep happening. So yeah, it's a lot quicker, and there's a lot less time to actually get in and contest that ball because it's happening so fast as well. Yeah.
Still a lot of snake and seal.
So latches. Cool. So ball carrier up on the feet, a latcher going in with them. Cool. That's fine. They go to deck. So you go to the deck. Yep. The latcher needs to roll east or west. They can't
so you
stay
can't
there.
stay on?
Can't stay on. No. So if you have a latcher coming in, they need to stay on their feet if you want them to form a breakdown. Okay. Otherwise, if they're off their feet, they have to roll east or west.
So what happens if it's like goes into a more like the tackler grabs them first?
Yep.
And then the latch comes on, and then
That's
has
absolutely
to
fine.
figure
So, if, and I got one of those wrong on Saturday. So we had ball carrier and a latcher. Yep. The defender, he did really well. He actually held him up for a couple of seconds. Maul collapsed. Ball was actually immediately available to the attacking side.
Yeah.
And so that's play on. No, because it's collapse more under law, the defender doesn't have to release. And if the ball's available, play on.
So
if it's not, it's a turnover. Yep, it's exactly the same. So that hasn't changed at all. Okay?
So if it goes to the ground, the latch doesn't have to roll away.
No, not in a maul situation. No.
Is there a warning for hands off if someone is going to steal the ball?
Yep.
Or is it
So
given straight away?
if we see a jackler and a breakdown form, we're going to be calling hands off. Because breakdown just doesn't work. Hands off is quite clear and easy. So hands off, sweet, everyone's on their feet and everyone's contesting with their feet as well without putting hands in the ruck. The only person who can play the ball at a breakdown is the player acting as halfback. Okay, so that's the person who's going to either pick it, pop it up for the next player coming through, pass it out to the first 5, or pick and go themselves. Okay, so that's a person who's not a part of the breakdown. They're the only person who can play that ball with their hands. Is that pretty clear? Yeah, absolutely. That if you're a part of that breakdown, there's no more of that. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So just to we don't want to be standing here all night
Yeah.
asking questions. So the tackler, can you just explain around the tackling, not being able to get out and play the ball anymore, and then it has to go through the game?
Yep, so the tackler. Cool. So if I make a tackle on Newt's got the ball, make a tackle. If I end up on his side, I can't play that ball from that side anymore. I actually have to come back
even
round.
Though there's no breakdown, even
Yeah.
there's no...
Even if there's no breakdown, there's an you have to come from behind your side of the midline. So if I end up on this side, I'm going this way, I have to get up, come round, us to goal line because I'm the first player in, and over to that ball. Or I can come over and just boot it, whatever it might be. Okay? Well, yeah, or ruck it back if you possibly can.
So the tackler, when he jumps up, can he still blow past?
Yes, absolutely, as long as he's on his feet. Yep, you release that ball, you get up onto your feet, you're allowed to take that space, that's your space to take. Okay?
So no tackler, so say
Yep.
he's got tackled,
Yep.
he's on this side, you've
Yep.
got other attacking players arriving,
Yep.
he can just get up wherever he is.
Oh no, he
Blow
has to
past?
come from behind that midline.
To blow past
Yeah,
still.
yeah, correct. You have to come from your side and then go past that ball. So you obviously when you tackle, you want to be on your side as best as you possibly can, so that you can immediately take that space in a contest.
What's the midline judged off? The centre of the tackle.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah, and it's parallel to the in goal lines, isn't it? So going straight across the field.
Biggie.
Yeah.
So, here's another one more question. So, if you do come from the side,
Yeah.
if you're the defender, and you hit him, like you blindside him, you tackle him, and you fall, is that a penalty, right?
Yeah. Correct.
So when is it not a penalty if you clean?
Yeah. So
If you stay on your feet but hop, because there was an issue against one of Basti boys said.
Yeah.
He came from the side, he tackled,
yeah.
and he fell over, but it wasn't near the ruck. He drove him through.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
If you go a metre or a couple of metres clear of that breakdown, personally I'm not going to penalise it because that's not affecting the breakdown area at all. That ball's still available. It's when you get tackled in or around that breakdown area, that's when it's an issue. Yeah.
Because I said he got penalised for that. So.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, potentially. The only other thing I'll mention to you guys is this is for attackers and defenders. When you get over that ball, occasionally guys will go down on their hand and come back up. Now what we're saying is if you come in a positive position, i.e. head and shoulders above your hips, with no intent to go down, but you do end up there because maybe you have players that come from behind and sort of go down, come back up. We're calling that a reload, and because you've come in a positive position, we're accepting that. Okay. But if you come in negative, so if you come in and go straight down and then push back up, that's a negative play because you've gone to seal that ball off, and that will be penalised. Okay. So making sure that when you do come in, you're taking that space, and if you end up there, come back up. It's a reload, as long as your intent was always to stay up on your feet. Okay. And I know it's a lot to take in because it's coming up on Saturday, but yeah, it's important just to be aware of those things as well. That's all. But do you guys have any other questions or anything at all? Because I know you don't want to stand around for too long.
So that's all the changes?
Yeah. And I know it's a lot to get your head around, just deciding whether you're going to contest that or not, and staying on your feet. Best advice is just use the video clips that you can see online, because you'll get a feel for how the game's been going in the last round, and perhaps how those referees are seeing it as well. But it's pretty clear and obvious to us, if guys end up off their feet in that breakdown, they're penalised, they're out of the game, they're off their feet. So it's as simple as that. It's a lot more black and white than what it has been in the past, and it's far more technical. So as opposed to being like, oh, the ball was at the back, so we've let that go, the fact that they were all off their feet. Now if you end up there, there's no opportunity for the opposition to contest, so you're penalised out of the game. Yeah. So yeah, is that pretty cool? Pretty clear?
Yeah. It's actually changed.
Are there a lot of
Yeah, not a lot's changed.
Are there a lot of cards with the penalties that have been?
Cool. So with the penalties, because it's a new thing, referees are going to start a lot more lenient on that because we all have to adjust. Players, coaches, managers, referees, we're all adjusting to it. So we're not going to be card happy or anything like that. If anything, we're just trying to coach guys to make sure they know that they need to stay up. So yeah, I wouldn't say that there are lots of cards for it. It's once we get the hang of it, 6 or 7 rounds, and then if people are doing it constantly going off their feet, they'll be put out of the game. But yeah. Yeah, is
No more
pretty
questions?
much it, eh?
Just one more question around the
Yep.
rolling law. Is that law come in with passing the ball back and not shifting
Yes,
it?
you have to transfer it. It's still the same. You have to transfer the ball instead of
Transfer.
sliding with it. Yes. Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Well, all the best for Saturday, guys. And
Sweet.
yeah, just watch those clips if you can, and then get a feel for it. See what the referees are saying, and see if you agree. And yeah. Cool.
Thanks,
Awesome,
mate.
no worries. Thanks for having us, guys. Awesome. Sweet, no problem, mate. No worries. Cool, good to see you.